Hello YouTube, thank you once again for tuning into the Guitar RX channel, where we're going to run through today the replacing of a 3-way toggle type Les Paul switch on a 12-string electric that is very intermittent at best. As you can see, we're getting nothing out of it. If we hit it, we're still getting nothing. You go in the neck position, it works. Going back to bridge, she's dead. Sometimes it pops on and sometimes it don't. That's no good, especially if you're playing out. You don't want your guitar to like die whenever it feels like it. Anyways, we're going to go outside. It's a beautiful day. I set the bench up and we're going to take out this 3-way toggle switch, and I'm going to show you all how to wire in a new one. Okay, here we are. Now we're ready to do some work. I took the back cover plate off and we're going to remove that 3-way switch. And we're going to remove the wires from the 3-way switch that go to the pots, because I'm going to put new wires in there, and everything will be all like new. First thing, let's get the wires off the old switch. Okay, ground wires are off, and we got the hot from the jack, pickup, pickup. Okay, those are off. Now let's get the switch out of here. This is a bolt type nut for the switch. Normally it's a star nut, which I like better, but bolt types, be careful. Take adjustables, screw it till it comes loose, and basically spin it out and you're home free. Okay. Let's get this switch out. This is the old switch. These are really junky switches. I would recommend always replacing these. Yeah, these are just junk. So let's cast that aside. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to take, this is your wire from your jack, which you're going to reuse just as it is. And we're going to take these wires that go to the pots from the jack, we're going to replace them. We're just going to do single conductor wires because we're going to run a big ground off the new switch. So to be honest with you, having this coaxial cable doesn't really matter. And plus, when you heat anything up on these, even like the old, whoever worked on these before, it got that really hot. Sometimes you melt through the insulators, and what happens is your ground goes through the insulator and touches the wire and basically kills the circuit. It grounds it out. And that could possibly be one of the things that was happening with this, but we're definitely changing that switch anyway because it wasn't working right, and like I said, they're just junk. So let's get these wires out of the way so we don't burn anything. Let's pull this out and replace it. Okay, these are no longer being used. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new wires on the pots going to the switch for the neck and the bridge pickup. First off, I like to color code the wires so I always know where I'm at inside the guitar. Okay, I'm going to use red for the neck, and I'm going to use blue for the bridge. First thing you want to do is tin the wires. I already pre-tin these. Tinning means, I'm just going to show you real quick on one side, is when you take, let's clean your soldering iron tip. You always want a clean soldering iron tip, like that. When you take basically the tip of your wire that you cut off, your new strip, and you basically hold it to your solder, you get it kind of hot, and you just want to run some solder onto the wire. That's called tinning. You'll have basically solder all the way there. It also helps when you're connecting and you put it through and you hit it, it will hold it, and you won't have to use 10 tons of solder and try to drop it on it. So first thing we're going to go, this is the neck. This usually in Les Paul style guitars where you have 4 pots, your upper 2 are your neck and tone for your neck pickup, and your lower 2 are your volume and tone for your bridge pickup. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to wire this red to the pot for our neck. Okay, we're going to heat that up, we're going to push it through, and then we're going to heat up the new wire. Let's see. Okay, and that is good, and the solder joint looks pretty good, but I'm going to hit one tiny bit of fresh solder on there, so in case, get rid of some of that gray old crap. There we go. That'll be a nice hot solder joint. Let's get that a little bit better. There you go. Okay, nice and bright, just like you want it. You want that nice and tight. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the bridge. So we're going to go, which is, by the way, the center lug of the pot. You got your outside, which is basically your pickup, goes to the outside, and your bridge, your switch, goes to the center lug on your pot. So we're going to go ahead and heat that up. put that wire through, touch it down, let it hold, and then we're going to take some fresh solder and we're going to heat it up and put it under like so. Okay. Let's heat it just a little bit more. Here we go. There we are. Nice clean solder joint. Oops. Sorry about that. It popped out. It wasn't hardened yet. Let's go through one more time. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're all in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the switch. Let me explain these types of switches to you in case you don't know. This is a blade type toggle switch that you find in the Gibson or any other guitar with a pickup system like we got, except for a Strat type you'd use a slider, but this is just a Les Paul style. Now let me explain. What you do with this is you have two blades, a blade here and a blade there. Now when you wire a switch like this, the two center blades are what off from the jack goes into, so these are hot. This is what gives power to the rest of the switch. So what you want to do, I already did it on this one, but what you do is you take this blade and that blade and you bend them. I'll usually grab them both and squeeze them together with a needle nose, squeezing about halfway up, so you close those two off together. And then what you want to do is, first off, I'm going to hook up the hot because it's in the center and it's much easier to solder the ends in first or second than try to, you know, put those on first and sneak back and do that without burning up something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this open a little bit, examine this wire, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to see if there's any breaks, and there is a break in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and we're going to start fresh. Okay, so basically I'm going to cut the hot wire where the break was, which is right about there. And then we'll get back to you when I get this placed. Okay, we're back. And I decided to put new leads coming off the jack to the switch because this thing was really beat up and it was a mess. Plus, like I said, you don't really need the coax wire. The coax wire could be a real pain in the neck. So let's get ready and we'll put this thing together. Okay, this white wire coming off our jack is going to be the hot wire to the switch. So like I was saying before, these two blades, they come together and they'll give you power to both sides of the switch. So that being said, let's take this white wire, let's put it around here, and I'm going to pull it tight, giving conductor on both sides of the blade. And if I could, I'm going to call my son over here to give me a hand holding the switch while I solder this up. Sometimes you just need 3 hands and you only have 2. Anyways, if you want to just hold the tip of that for me, please. And I'm going to put some solder on here. Like I say, you don't want to use a ton of solder. You want to keep your soldering iron cleaned. I tinned the wires already, so it should go good. So basically, you just heat up the blade of the switch. Drop your solder in, like so. Oops, let's get a little bit more in there. Sometimes you don't do enough. Okay, we're going to let that sit until it hardens. Then we're going to flip the switch over, and we're going to put some on the other side to make sure that that's buttoned up. Okay. Actually, that looks really nice. It's actually, the solder came through because I pre-tinned the wires, so we're good to go with that. Now, what I like to do, a little added bonus for safety so you don't ground out later, being this is the hot connection, and you don't want, like if, say if your switch came loose live and you were fumbling with it, and then it bent, it pushed the wires into the center, well, you're going to get all kinds of strange problems with functionality of your pickups. So what I like to do is take a piece of heat shrink tubing, and I'll put it on the hot wire, and I'll go up over the double lead that they're both connected to. It also keeps moisture and other crap away. You just want to take a lighter, and you want to touch it to the heat shrink. You don't want to incinerate it. You just want to heat it up. So you don't want to hold it on there forever. Just kind of wave back and forth. And as you can see, it's all perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up our volume pots to the switch. So we're going to start with the neck. And basically the neck is red, like I told you. And we're going to go through the lug hole like so, just like that. And I'm also going to use my son once again to hold the solder when I ask him to. And hold on. We're going to heat that up, and Casey, if you would, just give you a teeny bit of solder to the tip. Okay, and there we go. So we got our neck pickup is now hooked up. The solder is real nice shiny joint, not gray. That's a good solder joint. And basically, way to check if you're going right. Basically, when your switch is pointed up, it's going to be through there. Yeah, that's your neck pickup. So you got to make sure that your neck pickup contacts are touching each other, which they are. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing for our bridge. We're going to put it through just like so. I'm going to hold it like that, and I'm going to heat up the part, and Casey's going to touch a little bit of solder to it. And a little bit more. There you go. And there we are. We're going to let that harden. And basically, all of our hot connections now are finished. Now what we're going to do is we're going to ground it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a ground from the jack to, this is the ground lug. The back thick lug that goes through that is your ground. So basically I'm going to go off the jack like we did, up and over and into that side just like that. And you know what, let me strip a little more off of this. I might like to get a little bit more wire in there. It's a ground, it should be nice and beefy. Let's go a little bit more off. Okay, I'm going to twist that together, and I'm also going to run another ground off the same lug that's going to go to one of the pots, and all the pots then will be grounded to the switch. So we'll have a ground from the jack and a ground from the switch to all the pots. So let me put that through like so, and bend that over just a little bit like that. Okay, and once again I'm going to employ the services of Casey's third hand. And we're going to let me make sure these wires are the way I want them. Actually, I'm going to pull them through and twist them just one more time. So they're kind of falling apart. I want them to be nice and tight together, nice and neat. No slop here. Just get that through, just like so. And I'm going to pull that down, just like that. And we're going to go ahead with that. Just going to get that tight on there. All right. Yeah, pull that down just a little bit. Casey, go ahead. A little bit more. Okay. Hold on 1 second. You gotta get a better way to hold this because I'm literally burning the heck out of myself. I'm gonna sit this down there so we can sit this down toward the guitar just like that. And basically, let me heat this up. Hold on, Casey, not yet. Lay the iron, heat up the part. Alright, Casey, go ahead. Touch it just to the very tip. There we go. A little bit more. Okay. There we go. So our grounds are all connected to the switch. Beautiful. Nice solder joint. Looks great. So we're going to take the switch now, and we're going to mount the switch into the guitar. And guess what? We are basically finished with the switch install. And I'm going to put this in, then I'm going to wire that ground to the pot, and we're going to be pretty much done. Okay, we're going to put the gold washer back on here, and basically we don't have a gold star nut for this, so we're just going to use the silver, and that's perfectly fine. The customer doesn't care one bit. So we're going to put that in, take our star wrench, we're going to tighten up that jack, and there you go. Now we're going to put on our switch tip. Okay, and we're going to put this one ground just to this pot, to our neck pickup volume pot, and by the means of all this coax, we got ground, a ground jumper that I put in back to back, ground, and then ground from the switch. So everything will be grounded. And we have a bridge ground here, which is also going to one of the pots. All right, I'm going to touch this there, and we are going to solder this up. And that will conclude our wiring for today. Okay. Okay, we're all grounded. Everything's together. I'm going to put this guitar, the back plate on, put the screws back in. We're going to go inside, we're going to plug it in, and we're going to test the switch and make sure everything's working. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back inside now. We got the guitar plugged in. Let's give it a test, make sure everything's going right. Let's turn up our volumes. Okay, first off, we were having bridge pickup trouble. So let's see what's going on. There you go. Now let's check middle position. No problem. Back to bridge, middle. Now let's check out neck. Beautiful. So there's your neck, your volume, your bridge, volume, and everything is working great. Alright, so that's how to install a 3-way blade type toggle switch, Les Paul type actually. So this is going to wrap up our video. I want to say thank you all for tuning in to Guitar RX. Please, if you would, hit the like button and smash the subscribe button, and we got some really great stuff coming up soon. We got an Esquire build start to finish. We also have a Telecaster body that was butchered by someone that we're going to patch up and fix and make usable again, and lots and lots and lots of fun other things coming up on the channel. Anyways, thank you very much. Nala thanks you as well, and that's a wrap for today. Thank you all. Take care.